Hi, my name's Andrew Dove. I'm here today to talk about PayProp, specifically the challenge of converting PayProp client PDFs to an Excel format that can then be imported by other software. And I'm using ChatGPT among other things to solve this problem. PayProp has a great reputation with letting agents. As a landlord, I love the clear statements. But whoever does the landlord's bookkeeping, whether that be an accountant or in my case, me, they may have a gripe with PayProp. Instead of providing digital or .csv files of the relevant transactional data, PayProp gives us PDF files. So more than likely we end up manually entering data into a spreadsheet or accounting software such as Xero, which in an ideal world or in 2024 you would have thought could have been automated. So this isn't great for efficiency, and it's not going to be great for making tax digital when that eventually becomes mandatory. So here's the problem. PayProp will spit out statements such as this one. Now that all looks very nice, but it's not in a format that lends itself to being easily converted into an easily readable Excel worksheet. So when we actually run this through a PDF to Excel converter, and this is using one from Adobe, we end up with the converter struggling to read all the data into a format that we're probably going to need. Now we only need certain bits of this data, so we need to pick and choose what it is we need, and we need to reformat the data. And for example, in here we've got some carriage returns, we need to get rid of those, and we've got some numbers that are formatted as text. So overall it's just a bit messy. The goal is to get some tabular structured data, and it needs to be structured according to the user's requirements. So this is the tabular data that I need for uploading data into Apari. If you're using, for example, Xero Free Agent, or maybe you're just keeping the data in a spreadsheet, you'll probably need a slightly different format. But it's nice and tidy, tabular data, no gaps in the rows or columns, everything's populated, and so on. So how do we do this? Well, firstly, we need to find the right PDF to Excel converter. And secondly, we need to find a way to automate the data processing, because the PDF to Excel converter, even the best ones, are far from perfect. The right PDF converter. So I've tried multiple ones. There's online ones, there's downloadable ones. There's all sorts of ones which say they're free, but then it's basically a subscription model and they can end up being quite expensive. Looking at a number of these and combining the metrics of price, ease of use and usability of output, most of them I would say score poorly overall in terms of what we're trying to do here. I then came across Adobe's converter, which I assume would be really expensive, but it's only £18 per annum, which was quite cheap in comparison to other products I found. It was also the easiest to use, it was fast, and it produced the easier output for further processing, because all the other processors I looked at actually couldn't deal with data that looked like it was across two rows. They actually put it into two rows, which became or made it very messy for getting it into the right shape, into that tabular data shape. The second step is going to be the automated data processing. I kind of shied away from this until a couple of weeks ago. I tried ChatGPT, and at the same time I realised PayProp was not going to help me, i.e. provide me with the CSV file I wanted. So I thought in the past the proper solution wasn't worth developing, but I now realise that it was going to save me quite a bit of time if I could do so, but I wasn't that optimistic. So anyway, it started as a simple experiment to see if ChatGPT could help with questions about macros, i.e. could I address some of the issues one at a time for creating a macro or the VBA code. And it was very good at that. So then I thought, well, let's just challenge ChatGPT to a full coding project here. So tentatively I asked ChatGPT to write code for the first step, and when it wasn't quite right, I hadn't maybe given ChatGPT the right instructions, or maybe ChatGPT had written some code that was creating errors on the data that I fed into the code, or the data that I applied the code to. So I kept polishing the request, the description, feeding back issues to ChatGPT until I got the step right, and then I moved on to the next step and the next step and the next step, and kept refining until I'd solved the problem with ChatGPT's help, and I had code that worked faultlessly and very fast. The bottom line is this super fast code saves me hours every quarter. So let's just run through a quick demonstration of the code. So here we have a statement. Once it's been converted by Adobe PDF to Excel converter, and on this statement I'm really looking to get the information down in this area into the right format for further processing. In order to activate the code, I've put this nice little emergency button, and I'm just going to click on this button and we'll see what happens. Now I may want to run some checks on this code, so what I could do is I could do a little bit more processing. Now I did this very lazily with the macro recorder, so I'm just going to click up here on this 8, and this is a button to automate, or a button to activate the second macro, which all it does is help me to check that the data in here is the data on the statement. So I'm going to click on that 8, and here we go. Now I can see 2866, and that is the sum of all of these amounts. If I have a look at table 1, which is where the data was, we can see 2866, and that's the amount left for the owner. If I want to check on any of these other numbers, I have a slicer here, and I can click on, say, contractor, and I can see contractor was 1176, and I can just check that back to the table, and there we go, 1176. So that's it, really. The code took me, first time I ever used ChatGPT for this, it actually took me about a day to complete. I think if I was doing this again, I could do this a lot quicker. If anyone wants me to modify this code for their requirements, I'm more than happy to do so. I'm happy to donate an hour of my time free to start off any project and see if it's feasible. If you're interested, just get in touch with me. It's Andrew Dove, and the best email for me is evodajd@gmail.com. Thank you very much.